Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to the Truth That Heals podcast. I am your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today I wanted to talk about your right to set up boundaries. Unfortunately, if you have been in a cult, in a coercive environment, in one of those shitty workplaces or, I don't know, toxic places, what do? They get up all up in your face many times. You have no right to have boundaries. You have to be totally transparent to these people, and they can lie, they can manipulate you, they can treat you like crap, but you have to be open and transparent. Now you might be wondering, why is it that I'm talking about this? Because in my latest videos, I'm in showing the audience how beautiful it is to reconnect with family after leaving a cult. But this time I wanted to talk about your right to set up boundaries, because in a cult they remove boundaries. I'll give you an example. In the community that I was in, we had to have journals and we had to write in our journals. Now, if it isn't in a culty environment, it's a very powerful tool. Being able to write your thoughts, write your goals, your dreams, what happened today. It's a nice exercise, and I personally still try to do my own journal writing. However, in the community that I was in, they twisted it. They had something good, journal writing, and then they twisted it, because you have to, when you're in the cult, you have to surrender your journal every day sometimes, and the superior, the leader of the community, has to go through your journal and read through it. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, we're just checking the number of pages you write," because we were given obedience to write at least 6 pages. So if you don't write at least 6 pages every day, you're going to get a punishment. It could be no food, or it can be more time in silence, different variety. They wouldn't call it punishment; they would call it a divine mercy. So you see how they're twisting it. But then let's go back to the journal. In a journal, you're going to be totally open. It's for you, and if you believe in God, it's for God's eyes. If you don't believe in God, it's just for you. And you write transparently. But then when you're in a cult, you know that they're going to be checking your book. You know that they're going to be flipping the pages and examining you. Now, the founder of the movement that I was in, he would tell us that when we die, that when each member dies, they're going to read through our journals, and that it's supposed to be holy, it's supposed to be beautifully written, because that is what the Vatican or is going to use, or what they're going to use to declare us saints. So for me, in my own experience, and this isn't maybe this, I mean, if you've been in a cult, this is already, maybe you haven't been through something like this. But in my experience, because I started hearing that when I was, still a teenager, my mind was thinking, "Oh dang, every time I write in my journal, I better make damn sure that it is a holy journal, and even though I'm frustrated, I have to make it sound holy, so that when I die, I can become, a holy being in heaven, or a saint." This is wrong, because in the journal writing, I'm supposed to be, I shouldn't have that fear that someone is going to be looking through my private writings. But then they would use it, and then sometimes they would read it back to you, or like they'll circle parts, like, why'd you write this? So you can't even be transparent with yourself. The only person you should be totally transparent with, first of all, is yourself. Maybe if you have a friend you want to be transparent with, that is your choice. But in a cult, you have to be what they want you to be. And so even your mind, they're trying to reform your thoughts, and they'll see your journal and they'll correct it many times. See the amount of control. So now I want to go back to the communication. The cult destroyed my ability to communicate. Yes, I've already shared about being in isolation. I've shared about that depression that I was in, but I've also been sharing about that beauty that I've experienced reconnecting with family members who they were not in the cult. And if you look back at my videos that I've posted on YouTube, you'll see me partying and rejoicing, celebrating a beautiful experience of reconnecting with these people. Now, there are other people from other cults, other backgrounds, who may not want anything to do with their families or their old friends or people from church because of, well, it's their own thing. But that needs to be respected. If you want to set up a boundary with a family or friend, you know, do it. Set up a boundary and see who are the ones who respect those boundaries. If they don't respect it at all, then they don't respect you. And I know that there are some family members who are struggling, like especially if the whole entire family was involved in the cult or involved in these things, they might be struggling. So my advice, if they're not respecting it entirely, but they're kind of respecting it a little bit, my advice is maybe give them a chance. Give them time to understand what they're going through, because it's, especially if they've left the cult. I mean, like for my family personally, I'm so thankful that they gave me a chance to reconnect, because I was still so, my mindset was still so caught up in that culty extremism. But they had patience with me and they saw that I was trying to better myself, and that really they kept that door open. But if you're seeing that there are maybe family members or friends who are only loving you on condition that you be the way that they want you to be, then set up that boundary. You know, make sure that they respect it. Have them if they're not respecting it, or let me rephrase, if they're not trying at least, then maybe it's better to cut them out. And the mind screwing about this for me was because I wanted to reconnect with the cult. I didn't know it was a cult. So when I left the community, I wanted to reconnect with them. I wanted to see if we can maybe go out together, pray together, something like that. So I went to go visit them in Alabama because I was driving by. I was traveling, and this wasn't for a retreat or anything. I was just traveling by through Alabama, and I wanted to reconnect with the members, the side that was culty. And so I went and knocked on the door, and one of the members came out and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but the the superior here doesn't want anything to do with ex-members." And so it was a painful learning experience. But then I started thinking, well, if they're shunning me, am I shunning them? And on Twitter, I kind of brought up that question a while back, and people were responding, no, it's not that you're shunning them. They do shunning as a form to control you, because they're thinking that, oh, by shunning, if they're going to shun you, that will make you perhaps join them again, or maybe you're going to feel, oh, I need to have that love again. It's like, no, you're not doing that, Ryan. You're not shunning them. You're having self respect. You're making that boundaries. And it took a lot for me to learn. But once I understood that it's okay for me to say, you know what, I want nothing to do with them. Yeah, and you know what? They haven't even reached out. They haven't even never apologized. But you know what? It's okay. 'Cause I'm going to be moving on with my life, bettering myself, making better friendships. And sometimes, if you have family who are culty and they're shunning the hell out of you, many times I've heard that people are able to make beautiful friendships, and these friendships become their new families. So I just wanted to share that if you're thinking that you're having a hard time with relationships, that you are not alone, that there are many people out there, including myself, who have also struggled. But remember, you have the right to set up boundaries, and you have the right to be respected. And don't forget, respect yourself as well. That's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, please share this video, and I hope that you are all having a wonderful day. See you next time. Peace out.